Good morning, children. Today we will learn radicals. What are radicals? The radical of an atom or an element or a group of atoms of different elements that behave as a single unit with a positive or negative charge on it are called radicals, right? Now, I told you in the previous videos that an atom is neutral. It is neither positive nor negative, right? And the number of protons are equal to electrons. So, plus and minus are same. So, there are no way that an atom can become negatively or positively charged. Then how come these are positively or negatively charged? Let me explain this to you. Na plus. Na is nothing but sodium, right? The atomic number, that is sodium atomic number, is 11. That means sodium has 11 electrons and 11 protons, right? And there exists something called an octet stage. If you know these basics only, you can understand. Octet stage means 8 electrons. When there are 8 electrons, then only it gets to the perfect stage, right? This is called as the octet stage. So when there are 8 electrons in the valence shell, the last shell, then it is to be in the stable form. Okay, so when there are lesser than 8, it tries to get electrons from other atoms. When there are more than 8, that is from 4. Now how you have to understand this? Now first let me tell the electronic configuration. Now this is a sodium atom, right? In that I told you the nucleus. So 11 protons are there inside the nucleus. Now there are electrons revolving around the nucleus, right? So here 11 protons are there and 11 electrons are there. And how these electrons are arranged is, in the first shell 2 electrons are there, right? And then in the second shell 8. This is how it is accommodated. 2, 8, 18, 32. That is how the capacity of each shell is. So here for the first shell 2 electrons, in the second shell 8 electrons. Now this 11, in this 2 over 8 over, how much is there still? 1 electron is there. So let me do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this I am putting the minus in the bracket, that is the electron. Okay, so 2 electrons in the first shell, 8 electrons in the second shell, and in the third shell, that is in the third shell, you have 1 electron. Okay, and I told you 8 should be there. But here only 1 is there. So it is in the losing end. That is, you should know this. 8 is there. 4 is the fourth 4. Okay. So if it is lesser than 4, it gives up the electrons. It leaves the electrons. If it is more than 4, it gains the electrons. Can you understand? If in the valence shell, this is called the valence shell. The last shell of the element is called the valence shell. And the electrons in the last shell are called valence electrons, right? So in the sodium atom, how many valence electrons are there? 2 here, 8 here. How many valence electrons are there? 1 electron is there. This is the valence electron. Is it in the giving end or the taking end? Yes, it is less than 4. So it is in the giving end. So any atom comes beside it, immediately the sodium gives away this 1 electron. Right? So here what happens? It becomes 2, 8. And this 1 electron is always in the going away level because it is less than 4. Okay, so always the sodium is in the, when it gives up the electron, when the electron is gone, it is firstly neutral. Plus and minus were same. Okay, how many plus were there? Those many minus were there. That means how many plus are there? 11 plus are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 protons were there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 electrons were there. Everyone was a pair. Plus and minus becomes neutral. Okay, so all these were pairing up. So now what happened? One electron went off. It went off somewhere because it is in the valence shell and it is less than 4. The sodium atom is giving away the electron. So this 1 and 1 became neutral. This 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 became neutral. And 1 plus is remaining. That plus only this one. Can you understand? Because it left one electron, it becomes positively charged. Okay, it is called as ions. Okay, so positively charged ions are called cations. These are called as cations. Okay, so these are positively charged. Why they are positively charged? Because in the valence electron, the number of electron is less than 4. So it is in the giving end. As it is giving the electrons, it becomes positively charged. And remember, how many electron it is giving, that much number comes. Okay, so it is giving 1 electron, so plus. Plus means plus 1. Okay, if it is giving 2 electrons, suppose in the valence shell, in any other element, in the valence shell, now magnesium is 282. So it gives away 2 electrons, so it is Mg2 plus. Okay, so how many electrons are given up, that much positively charged it becomes. Okay, so in the next session I will tell you why O2 minus, right? So let's go to the next session. Now you see the number of electrons in oxygen. O means oxygen. Oxygen is, number of electrons is 8. 8 electrons are there, right? So let's draw the nucleus. Sorry, a nucleus is 8 protons are there and 8 neutrons are there. Neutrons, no problem because they are neutrally charged, nothing with the charge. Okay, when 8 protons are there, naturally there will be 8 electrons. And I told you, in the first shell, how many electrons? Yes, 2 electrons. That much capacity only is there for the first shell. In the second shell, how many I told? 8 can be accommodated. But in this 8, 2 are gone. Remaining how much is there? 6 are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For the octet stage, how much we need? This is a valence shell for the oxygen atom, right? In the valence shell, octet stages, we should have 8 electrons, right? Here, how many electrons are there? 6 electrons are there. How much more it requires to reach the 8 electron stage, octet stage? It needs 2 electrons, right? So this oxygen atom will be in search of an electron. So I told you, when it is more than 4, it will start gaining, right? In the valence shell, we have 6 electrons. 6 is more than 4. So it is in the process of gaining electrons from someone, right? How many electrons does it require? It has 6 electrons in the valence shell. It should be 8 to come to the octet stage. So how many more it requires? It requires 2 electrons. So what it will do is, it will gain 2 electrons from some other atom and come to the octet stage. This is the gaining process. Okay, so when 2 electrons are added, it becomes negatively charged, because positive, negative, they are neutral. Now 2 extra minus have come. That is what this radical is. This is an anion. You call it as anion. Anion means negatively charged. Okay, so here we see that oxygen is an anion. Okay, we will see the types of radicals in the next session.
చా అంతనా